is falling down because 500's going to neck. So, my ass can only take so much.
You're
Up that ass. Come on. Cock work.
up.
Yeah.
Kicking.
All right, let's get that ass. This can only take so much.
Fit.
Come on. Cock work. The Eagles are trying to. Did I just say what I think pause? No dick.
Oh my goodness, I love my coffee in the morning. Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cal. Wait, my camera's off. Hold up. Sorry, Joe Boo. Gotta do everything my damn self. Welcome to Broke Ass Media, where we have to do everything, okay? The lighting, the cameras, the content. We have to do it all, but that's okay. I enjoy being here and being with you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you all. As we get ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers, I am going to say I have seen just one San Francisco 49er fan who came in the chat last night during our live stream watching the Minnesota Vikings get beat down by the Rams. And this is the thing that's kind of crazy is for a while there, Minnesota was looking like world beaters, man. Everybody's like, oh my God, Minnesota is great and everything else. And now all of a sudden they've lost 2 in a row. I can remember the Atlanta Falcons, they were for a while looking like world beaters too, but they've kind of come back down to earth. And this is the thing that happens in the NFL is you can't get too excited that, a team can get on a hot streak and then cool down. That circumstances, injuries, teams that you're playing at the wrong time, penalties, all these things can dictate and change a team's fortune. Now, let's be clear here. Our Cowboys seem to be a complete mess. We went through what should be a quiet time with the bye week. We should be all relaxed and everything else. And it has literally been hell. And it seems like it's been forever. You realize that it was almost 2 weeks ago that Jerry Jones went on 105.3 The Fan and literally talking about firing the staff there. And saying, people that I pay, I don't expect to question me. That was, a week and a half ago. And in that time, we've had a circular firing squad where Jerry's, been questioned about the Derrick Henry situation. And Derrick Henry, of course, it's no longer that we couldn't afford him. He didn't actually fit to what we want to do. You mean winning? If that's what you're trying to do, winning must not be one of those. Because Derrick Henry would help you win when you literally have the most anemic running game in football. So Jerry Jones tried to deflect and say, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's the play calling. We got the people that we need right here. And Mike McCarthy, of course, says, we got to look at practice and things like that, we're going to change and do those things. But it's not the play calling. It's just it takes time to get there where we want to be and so on. And then, here, let me put exactly as Mike McCarthy as of yesterday. I think we're a team that's growing, McCarthy said. I think that's really where we were out of training camp. You could see in Oxnard. We did a lot of good things with our inexperience, whether it was young players or a new veteran that's arrived at the time. He's arrived. You got to keep working for those things together, the belief, the energy, and all that. Despite external perceptions, McCarthy's assured the locker room is filled with belief and energy. Trust me, what goes on outside the locker room is not an illustration of what's going on in the locker room, McCarthy stated. The practices, the way they go about it, the energy they bring into meetings, we're getting better. I see it. I believe it. I do feel strongly. They believe it. It's easy to come in here and talk about all those things that haven't gone right. That's not the clear picture of a football team. So he's basically saying what Aaron Rodgers said, relax. And there is some to that because typically you can look at players that we've had that have started as rookies and things where they get better as the season goes on. You have to think that Mike Zimmer, of course, installing a different defense and things, that he didn't just forget how to coach, that it's getting guys up to speed with the players that he has who also have been decimated by injuries. So this game is huge because the Cowboys, 3-3, actually are about where, well, actually, Cowboys are ahead of what some people thought they would be this part of the year. Some people thought that the Cowboys would be 3-5 after the first 8 games. We all knew that this was a killer, murderer's row section going through here, and that the schedule gets more favorable as they go on. San Francisco certainly did not expect to be 3-4, and Brock Purdy has come back down to earth some, and San Francisco is beat up as well, and does not want to go 3-5. And I believe with the Rams winning last night, I think San Francisco, let me double check. I think San Francisco is in last place. Let me double check here. I should have done this before. Let's see. NFC. Bear with me, good people. Yeah. Tell me if you saw this. It's a 3-way tie for second or fourth. Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, all 3-4 teams. If San Francisco loses, they will be in the basement by themselves. And looking up, not that Seattle at 4-3 is not catchable. It is. But you don't want to be 3-5. You don't want to be. In the same sense, we're 3-3. The Eagles are 4-2, and Washington is 5-2. You don't want to get 3-4 going into this weekend. The Cowboys need to keep pace. I don't think we have any chance of getting down there with the Giants, but then again, who knows? That's a possibility. But the Cowboys need this victory as much as San Francisco. Now, we know that San Francisco, huge loss, losing Brandon Ayuk. We know that George Kittle has a sore foot, but did practice yesterday, and Deebo Samuels was in the hospital as of Tuesday with pneumonia. And here's what Kyle Shanahan was saying about his situation, because they potentially could go into the game with their 3 top receivers out. The 49ers are on the verge of a must-win territory, but San Francisco could be without its 3 top wide receivers this weekend at Levi Stadium. Following Brandon Ayuk's season-ending surgery, the 49ers wide receiver room took another hit when Deebo Samuel was hospitalized with pneumonia. After Samuels practiced on Thursday, Coach Shanahan provided an update on the All-Pro wide receiver status ahead of Sunday's matchup with the Cowboys. Well, the fact that he was able to get out there and attempt some stuff is good news to me. Shanahan told him, I remember having pneumonia in my early 20s, and it did not feel like I could even walk down the stairs about a week later. So there's a different type of levels to it. He's doing much better than what I've learned is pneumonia can be a little bit different. He's had kind of a little bit of an unusual one, but he's doing good enough that he was also able to practice today, and hopefully he will continue to get better, and hopefully he'll be able to help us on Sunday. While Shanahan revealed he doesn't expect Jennings to land on the injured reserve, the 49ers coach did say it was a long shot for the veteran wide receiver to suit up on Sunday against the Cowboys. He's not an IR candidate, but expect him to get back in after the bye week. Haven't ruled him out yet for this week, but definitely would say he's very doubtful, and I'd be surprised if he won't be back after the bye week. But the thing here is, San Francisco is a really good running team. And San Francisco will be running the hell out of the football against the Dallas Cowboys. As much as I hate to say it, if I'm a coach, you look at the Dallas Cowboys' run-stopping ability, and you say, those guys suck. Why would we pass the football when we can make major gains on the ground? So we need our guys. We need to show up better than what we had before. Now, the bad news is it looks like, San Francisco might get Deebo Samuels back. The bad news for us is it would be a very, very long shot, and I don't think that you do this without practice of having Deron Bland and Micah Parsons in. They're just not ready. And putting them out there without being able to practice would be insanity. That's just straight up desperation and a possibility for them to get hurt again. So you just don't do it. Ceylon Carson has a good chance of being there, and Eric Kendricks was limited in practice, so that would definitely help out the team if we can get those guys back. So it's going to be a tall task. We're on the road against San Francisco, must-win situation. Both teams are not where they want to be, and it's an opportunity for both of them. You've already heard Nick Bosa basically say, yeah, it's good we're playing the Cowboys because we pretty much own them. And I hope that the Cowboys take that to heart and say, you know what, screw this. It's time for us to man up and do something. In other news, as I talked about the circular firing squad, we've had the whole conversation of some of the players basically saying it's a distraction having the fans doing tours. And that's kind of brought out a whole almost civil war here between the players. You had CeeDee Lamb, who is the second highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, kind of come through and say, yeah, it is a distraction and things. Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, basically saying, bro, that's every day. We play in front of 100,000 people and everybody on TV. That's just an excuse. And it is a bit of a bullshit excuse. If you're telling me that you can't work out with people watching you, then how the hell can you play a game with people watching you? Let's be real here. You need to look from inside to figure out how to do this. Now, the Cowboys do have this 2 weeks that they've had to hopefully tweak the offense, the defense, and get on the same page. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, for the first time, have had more time to really work together, which should have happened in training camp, but it didn't because of you, Jerry, and Stephen Jones not getting that deal done in time. You've got them actually getting extra reps together and finally getting a chance to hopefully get on the same page. And we're going to need that. We're going to need a monster game from CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott hasn't been awful, but Dak Prescott, unfortunately, has to be above average. He's got to be damn near perfect on what he does for this team to actually have a chance to win. So let's go to our morning haterade with Get Up.
Of horrors, right? I mean, Dak against what we have seen from the 49ers against the Cowboys the last few years has been very painful for those who like the Dallas Cowboys. Can he turn that around this Sunday night? Can Dak be the reason the Cowboys pull off a win that would surprise a lot of people?
No, Dak absolutely can. We've seen Dak Prescott play at an MVP level, and I love the sense of accountability that he has and the way that he's played this season, but he's wrong. He's played below average. Right? Because your average doesn't get to be the average of the rest of the players in the league. Your average is the average that's taken from a quarterback who's the highest paid player that's ever touched an NFL field. And outside of maybe the Cleveland Browns game earlier on in the season and also the Pittsburgh Steelers game where I felt Dak was at his best, he's been below the line for his play. He's in some senses been the reason that this offense hasn't moved the ball. And Dak Prescott can't be that. I said a few Fridays ago on this show, if they want to win games, Dak Prescott has to play at an MVP level. He hasn't been close to that, and I believe that this team feels it. And when you look at the Dallas Cowboys as a whole, we knew that this roster wasn't up to snuff to compete in the NFC, but what we've seen from this team has been flat out embarrassing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we can talk about Dak all we want, but Teddy, the reality is it has been the defense. In their 3 losses this year, they're giving up well over 200 yards rushing per game, and now they're going in there. I know Christian McCaffrey isn't playing, but this is sort of where it all begins, right? The San Francisco offense was the first of these great running offenses. Is there any reason to believe the 49ers are not going to shred the Cowboys on the ground?
No, I think Kyle Shanahan has a lot of common sense in him. I mean, besides just looking at the tape and looking what they've
just
done
hate the
in
Cowboys.
previous
They give
matchups,
Cowboys
this is
no
going to be
chance.
Mason, this is going to be Garendo, this is going to be 30 to 40 times, and if they can't stop it, that's all they're going to do because Kyle knows the situation of his team. All right, they're beat up. A lot of their stars are out. They're going in, they win this one, they hit the bye week and heal up, and then it's ready for this second push. That's what it's going to be. He's going to try and get this win as simply as possible, run the football, play action pass, easy for Purdy, nothing complex, and get out of there. Because Dallas, it's about who is suiting up on defense. Is Bland, is Kendricks, is Parsons, who's not going to be there? I mean, it's just, and they're coming off a bye, and they're supposed to be rested up, but still, they're missing a lot of key players, so it's common sense formula for Kyle Shanahan in running this football, Greeny.
Yeah, Micah Parsons hasn't practiced this week. Deron Bland hasn't practiced this week. They could practice today and play, but also maybe not, and even if they do, they might be diminished. Earlier this week, making the picks, right? Earlier this week, Green taking the Cowboys out.
I'll tell you why. No one would be more surprised than me if I'm right here. But I always go the other way. Whenever, and it generally works. Whenever everyone thinks something is going to happen, it generally doesn't.
I was thinking about it. You get the picks, you're making the picks for all the games, and I'm thinking to myself, Debo was in the hospital with pneumonia. Kittle has a foot thing, but Debo got in a limited practice yesterday, and so did Kittle. And if they have those guys, they're going to have too much, I think, for an undermanned Cowboys defense and a Cowboys team that can't run the ball. I just think it's a bad matchup.
The last 3 games, they've handed the football off 111 times, 452 yards, 5 tutties. They're going to give the football to Jordan Mason. They're going to give the football to Garendo. And if you watch this team, the more they've had to put it on Brock Purdy's shoulders, the more mistakes we've seen from the past game. Kyle Shanahan understands it's not about style points. It's about winning on the scoreboard, and you run the football against the Dallas Cowboys to get into play action.
I'll say it again. I think the Cowboys are going to get killed, just like everyone else thinks, and that's the reason I'm picking them to win. I got to break really quick. We got
both Dallas and San Francisco.
Are the Cowboys going to get killed? Are the Cowboys going to get killed? That's the big question here. On paper, it seems that way. Excuse me. It seems like the Cowboys have no chance in this at all. But then again, it is football, and anything can happen. I'm telling you. I have a feeling that the Cowboys, and of course you can say I'm a homer, that's delusional and all that. And that's fine, okay. I'm free to be what I want to be. And that's I choose in supporting my Cowboys and believing in them. And we'll have to wait and see if they have a chance Sunday night. I know we'll be live streaming all damn day building up to it, as always. Oh, and I think here's what we're going to do. As crazy as it sounds, you have to change things up. And what I have learned, here's what I have learned that's been kind of interesting to me, is the Cowboys, when we have done corned beef sandwiches, have been 3-0. 3-0. We have not lost a single game when we've had some form of a corned beef sandwich. And so we're going to have a corned beef sandwich and see if that is the ultimate Dallas Cowboys game changer. As always, good people, I appreciate you guys. A little tease here. The great people from BetUS. I think they've been watching the Dan Saleo show, and it's given them an idea because they're going to be starting a new show, basically like the Family Feud or Football Feud. And this is going to be, the first one will be me versus Philly 500. Yeah. So it's going to be a smackdown. They're still figuring out exactly what they're going to do with it, but Philly 500 is on board. I'm on board, and I think it will be Wednesday the 6th, the Eagles-Cowboys week. So definitely look forward to doing that. Already good people, as always. I appreciate you all, and we will see you soon.
It's just falling down because 500's going to net. So, my ass can only take so much. Up that ass! Come on. Cock work.
Up.
Yeah.
Kicking.
All right, let's get it. That ass can only take so much. Come on. Cock work. The Eagles are trying to. Did I just say what I think? Pause.